Hey there, it's Adrian from Groundhogg. We just released Groundhogg 2.6 and I'm personally really excited about it. Lots of new features and lots of new ways that we are making it easier for you to manage your contacts, your companies, manage your custom fields, find contacts, do edits. There's just so much that we've packed into this update that's really exciting and just shows you some of the key future elements that you're going to see in future Groundhogg updates. So without further ado, let's jump into Groundhogg 2.6. So let's start off with the contact record, which is going to be the #1 place where you're going to see changes. So let's go ahead and open up one of our contact records. Let's open up my own here. So this is the all new contact record. It's got lots of stuff that may appear a little bit different. It's a far cry from what it used to be for sure. So I'm going to start off at the top here where we still have our contact info card. It's got a little bit of a nicer layout, some nicer colors. Those are some of the things that we really wanted to improve, was the just visual representation of all of the data and making it a lot more user-friendly and a lot more visually appealing. People like to spend time in software that they can like to look at least. The bottom of the contact card here, we have lots of buttons. So we previously had this like actions tab, which had a bunch of drop downs and it was kind of hard to sift through. But now what we have is we have all these buttons. So if I want to submit like an internal form for this contact, I have just a button I can click where I can select all the forms from a drop down and it just shows up right there. No page reloading. It's all happening on this one screen in this modal here. Same thing if I want to add them to a funnel. I can just select add to funnel and then I can go ahead and select which step I want to add them in the funnel. If I want to send an email, I have this nice pop-up which shows up in the bottom right here where I can type out all of my email content that I might want to send to this contact record. And it's just really easy. We have contact merging now. So if you have duplicate contact records that you want to put together, you can select merge and then you can search for the contacts that you want to actually merge together. So that's pretty awesome. Going down from there, we have a brand new tag picker. This is a smaller update in the grand scheme of things, but something that's going to make tag management for you so much easier. Primarily, it is the act of adding and removing tags, which is different. So instead of having this select box, which a bunch of little tags, and you're adding them and you're taking them away and you don't know what you've done before you go ahead and click Save Changes, now if you're adding a tag, let's say I add a new tag, that's called add a new tag, it's going to show in green, which is going to inform you that this tag has been added, but the save or the changes haven't yet been saved. Similarly, if I go ahead and I remove this one, it's going to be marked as right, again, indicating to me as I'm going through the tag management process that I'm removing that tag, but those changes have yet to be saved. And then if I go ahead and I click Save here, the green, the red goes away, and the changes are committed to this contact record, and now they have the add new tag, but they don't have that other one. And then I can just go ahead and add that one back, remove that one, click Save, and then those changes are reversed. And then you can see changes saved. No page reloading, it all happens on one screen. So if you're operating on a mobile device, I think you're really going to appreciate that. All right, moving down, we have very much condensed the form element, the general fields and everything. So all the first name, last name, email address, the general contact information, the work deals, the location, all of that getting very condensed. So again, for those of you on mobile, a lot less scrolling, it's a lot more just compact, easier to read, easier to find the information that you're looking for, all in this like 2-column layout. Other than that, all of these fields are pretty much the same. The only change is that for the opt-in status, it used to be links in order to change the opt-in status. Now we just changed it to a flat drop-down. So if you need to manage the opt-in status of a particular contact record, you can do that just by using the drop-down here. And then the nice thing is saving changes. Again, no page reloading, all happens on one screen. Very nice. Now, if I head over to the More tab, where there's more stuff, this used to be called Custom Meta. Now there's a bunch of stuff, or well, a few different things in this tab, including additional email addresses. So if you have like additional contact methods for this particular contact record, let's say this person has their alternate email address as adrian@groundhogg.io, I'd be able to save that here and those get saved. If I have additional phone numbers, I can select a mobile number, a work number, a home number, and then save this number as well. So if I can't reach them at whatever these details are, I can come to the More tab and look at their additional contact details. And then for those of you who like using that custom meta, a sort of just arbitrary data mode of editing a contact, all of that is still available in a much better format. So we have kind of like this just table here, this almost like CSV-like cell table where I can add any arbitrary data just like that, and then add my data here. And then I can go ahead and then save those changes, and that gets saved again, no page reloading. One of the biggest changes as far as like fields go and the contact custom field management goes is we used to have the custom field management as part of our paid plans, our paid offerings, starting in the basic plan. And then you'd have a whole other menu item called custom field management, and it was this big form, and it was kind of a clunky UI. It got the job done. That is being totally done away with. So if you're using that plugin, it is no longer relevant as of 2.6, and instead all of that custom field management goodness is being stuffed into the free version of Groundhogg that's hosted on the WordPress.org repository. It's being made totally free for everyone using the Groundhogg free plugin. You're welcome. Really excited about it, and it also just made a lot of sense for us as product makers to include it and bundle it with the core version of the plugin. So what does that look like moving forward? And by the way, if you're using that old custom field management plugin, which is being removed from sale, all of your custom fields that you made with it are going to be converted and available as part of this new UI as well. Okay, so starting off is there's this new plus button beside sort of the main primary tabs here. If you go ahead and you click on Add tab, you're going to be able to give it a name. And I'm just going to call it my custom fields because I'm not feeling very creative. Click Create, and then that's going to create a tab here. And then you are going to be able to add custom properties to this tab. We're going to first create a tab group, or a field group rather, and it's going to guide you through this process. You don't really need to know exactly how it's going to happen, just follow the prompts. So let's call it my group, because again, not very inspired at the moment. Create group, and then we're going to be able to create a field. And you can create a bunch of different types of fields. You can create and unfortunately, my video capture doesn't actually capture this, but you can create text, you can create a text area, a number, a date, a time, checkboxes, radio buttons, drop downs. So pretty much any of like the basic sort of form fields that you need to create, you can do so here. So let's create a drop down field as an example, and I'm just going to call it my drop down. And I can give it some options. I'm just going to do option A. And before, you'd actually have to do this in like a multi-line text area, but now we have like this very nice UI for creating options, deleting them, reordering them. Option C, and if I need to reorder them, I can just go ahead and drag it, and that's kind of nice. I can turn on multiple selections if I want it to be a multi-select box. And then finally, we have this order field, and if you change the order, it changes the order of which they actually appear in the form. I'm just going to leave that at the default for now, which is 10. And create that field, and there we go. And now I have this field, and all of this without actually leaving the contact record. So if you're an admin and you're editing a contact record and you're thinking to yourself, wow, it'd be really great if I could just add a custom field to this contact as I'm working on it, you can do that so you don't have to go to another admin page and add the custom field there and then come back here to find out that your changes weren't saved. You can just do it on the fly just by editing a contact record. And if you are a sales representative or you're a company that has sales representatives, they're going to be able to use these custom fields that you've created but not actually be able to edit them or create new ones. So we really thought about it moving forward and how we can make custom field management just so much more faster and simpler for admins and sales representatives. And we are continuing the theme of this sort of 2-column layout for the contacts. So let's go ahead and let's create a number field, and we'll call it years in business because I was creating a survey and years in business was one of our questions. And we can set that to a number, and we can and set the order, just leave it at 10 for now. and then we'll have that years in business, and I can set that to, let's say, as long as we've been in business, which is approaching 4 years now. Go ahead and save those changes, and there we go. And it's just really that easy, and it's so much of an improvement over what we previously had. And if you want to go ahead and edit these fields, just double click on it. You'll see a drop down, click edit field, and you get those exact same settings back. And then you can also change it. So if you had a number field, but you want to change it to like a checkbox field later, you can do that. It's not set in stone. So really, really fluid, really, really simple, really. That's too many reallys. I'm going to move on now. And there is, of course, absolutely no limit on the number of tabs, the number of sections, the number of groups, the number of fields. It is sort of kind of up to you about how far you want to scale that. It is incredibly fast, so the more you have, I don't see any performance issues arising. And all of this is stored in exactly the same way as it was before. All right, so that covers our first column here. Moving over to the second column, a little bit different, and maybe I can show you a better example. Here we go. So this is the new contact activity timeline. Now what this allows us to do is show you a basically real-time log of what a contact was doing and at what time. So I can see that they visited the homepage 2 weeks ago, they logged in a week ago, they visited the homepage 6 days ago, they submitted a form, these were the form details, they clicked a link, they opened an email. All of their activity is going to show up in this activity pipeline. You can sort it, you can filter it. All of the links are clickable. And this is an excellent way to describe to you the customer journey that someone went through in order to get from wherever their first interaction with your company was to when they either like purchased or became a customer. That is very, very powerful and probably the biggest change to the overall contact record that you're going to see immediately. And guess what? All of the information that's here is retroactive, which means that as soon as you update to 2.6, all of your contacts are going to have this timeline filled up with the information that we've been collecting over the last 4 years for them. So really, really awesome, really, really exciting. I really, really hope you like it, and it's only going to improve over time. This is just sort of its first iteration. We still have lots of different integrations that we want to include in it. For example, WooCommerce orders and EDD orders and GiveWP and all of that fun stuff. Currently, it's integrating with WP Fusion and obviously most of the core Groundhogg components. So things like email activity, open an email, click to link in an email, all of the funnel activity, so step actions and pending funnel activity, logged in, some certain site actions. So there's lots of things that you're going to be able to look forward to if you're using the Groundhogg core integrations, as many of those are going to get hooked right into this activity pipeline. So if you're using WooCommerce, you'll be able to see order created and see that WooCommerce event log activity right here in the timeline. Or if you're using something like Lifter LMS, you can see enrolled in course and completed lesson and have all of that part of this unified customer journey depiction. And you're just not going to find that anywhere else. And I'm really excited about it. I don't know if you can tell. So all of those coming up really, really soon in the near future. Okay, still focusing on this middle column, we also see we have our activity, we have our notes. So notes was kind of crammed into one of these info boxes, we call them, in the third column, which I'll get to in a second. We've given it a full UI here, or a lot more space rather. And if you've been using notes in the previous update, which is 2.5, this hasn't changed much, but it has a lot more space now. It's its own dedicated tab. So for those of you who like using the notes feature, it's not crammed anymore into one of these little small boxes. So that'll be a nice change of pace for you. And then finally, in this middle column, we also have the Files tab. Now the Files tab is something that you may not be aware of for those of you who don't use Groundhogg in sort of like a true CRM contract management kind of focus. But we have this brand new file uploader. I can select files that I want to upload, and it's going to do that for me. And then I have this nice sort of table layout. I can download the files from here. It's got bulk delete functionality. Again, the files used to be crammed into this like really small file box area. which was really annoying. But now has a lot more room to breathe, as it were. So moving to the third column, which is our info boxes, this is going to look more or less the same for many of you. It's just that some of the cards were removed. So the notes card and the files card obviously removed because those get dedicated areas in the UI now. The UI, or like the visual representation of the boxes, has changed just to match the rest of the UI. And this UI is indicative of all of the Groundhogg UI that you're going to be seeing in the near future as well. So the email editor, the funnel editor, it's all going to get makeovers very similar to this, as you've already seen with the sales pipeline UI, which is kind of like our first sort of test of this new UI, which got really, really great feedback. So really, really excited to keep moving forward with it. And same as before, if any of you were creating info cards as part of your integrations, all of those are going to be backwards compatible. That was something that was really, really important to us, was backwards compatibility. So any like custom tabs that you had, any custom info cards, even though most of this UI is completely brand new, all of those things or integrations that you might have built are still going to work as expected. So that was really important to us, and we spared really no expense on making it all work seamlessly together. So that is the contact record. That is the big update for 2.6 is all this. There's a ton of other like behind the scenes stuff that I don't really want to get into as far as the core plugin is concerned, but that is the main focus of Groundhogg 2.6, was bringing this new contact record to you. We've been promising it for a while. I'm really, really happy that we finally get to deliver on that promise. The other thing that I want to show you while I have you and while I have your attention is that while we push this, we also gave a simultaneous update to the companies add-on, which we've been getting a lot of requests to receive some love. And in order to match the UI of the companies to the new core Groundhogg, we have giving it a whole new update as well. So we put a lot more information in the table here so you can see a whole bunch more stuff. If I go ahead and open it, you're going to see it received a very, very similar treatment as the contact record. So we have like this card here. We can add a logo just by clicking, which is really nice. It's this very intuitive UI here. So if I click on edit, I can edit all of the main details. We've added a contact owner to the company records so that you can assign them to your different sales agents. We gave it tabs as well. So notes and files, the same as the contact record. It had both of these before, but in different formats. And now it's just a lot more beautiful and a lot more user-friendly. Big update is that we also gave them custom fields. So the exact same way that you manage custom fields for contacts, you manage custom fields for companies as well. So you're going to see that a lot of the various different data objects that Groundhogg offers, contacts, companies, deals, payments, calendars, appointments, all of those different data types are going to be in the future compatible with this new way that we do or handle custom fields. So you're going to be seeing a lot of sort of like this reuse of this custom fields engine through a lot of our different add-ons and extensions and integrations. Super exciting stuff. The future is near. The future is now. So that is our first column. And our second column, we've adopted, instead of like this table approach that we used to be using, we now have this sort of like 2-column directory approach. So if I go ahead and I add a contact to the company, which I can do using this, and again, no page reloading because that's super annoying. I can go ahead and I can add contacts to this company. I can either select from a list, or I can use this form to add a new company or a new contact record to the company on the fly. I can use an internal form to add a contact to the company here. So that's nice. I have built-in search in the directory. So if I need to search for a particular person, if I need to search based on name, email, phone, or position, I can do that from here. If I need to change a person's like position while editing from here, I can select quick edit and I can set this person to CEO. Go ahead and save that and then close. And then I can search for the CEO and find whoever the CEO of this company is. So brand new companies update, also shipped right now and available for download or update. If you're not using it and you want to work with companies, this is a great add-on. It creates company records based on the email address, based on company fields, based on position and automatically associates people. It's very smart. It's a smart plugin. And if you're working with companies, I highly recommend that you either invest in our, I believe it's available with our Plus plan, so go check that out. All right, that is my review of Groundhogg 2.6. It was a lot of effort, it was a lot of work, and we hope it was worth it. And you're going to be seeing amazing updates like this moving into the future all through 2022. I think it's going to be a pretty good year for Groundhogg users and for Groundhogg. We're really excited about the future and about what these updates will mean for future iterations of Groundhogg products. Thank you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.